Hi, thanks for checking out our repair channel. We work on basically anything related to electric fence units, whether it's brand new, made a couple of days ago, or is made 60 plus years ago. We work on anything, all brands under the sun, whether they're still made today or they've been discontinued and brands aren't around anymore from 40 years ago. We still work on them. This is just going to be a testing video on this Gallagher M400, and I'm just going to show you how it works, a little bit about the lights on the thing, and this is a pretty basic unit. It's old school Gallagher. This is probably from the early 90s based on the serial number, probably late 80s, early 90 model, but they made this model from probably, I would say, late 80s, early 90s, all the way to about 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in that range. So it was around for about 15, 20 years at least. Good model. This generation of Gallagher was what put Gallagher on the map. They're real reliable. This generation, they just go and go and go. They weren't, real complex inside. They used really heavy-duty parts on their boards. They weren't really to the point of using that digital small surface mount stuff yet. There might be a little bit on that board, but very, very little. Most of it was still big through-hole stuff that people had to put on by hand and solder by hand most times, or at least put in by hand and let a machine come back and solder and everything. But these are really good old-school Gallagher units. If you've got a unit from this generation, this is a really one to keep. I wouldn't throw it unless it's totally trashed inside. They're usually worth fixing. We can fix some boards inside these things, repair the boards versus replacing the boards, so that saves money that way. If you'd like to check out more about us, you can go to our website, which is fencerfixer.com, and that's Fencer and Fixer is spelled with an F as in Frank on both words. We give free quotes, and we do 1.5-year warranties on all the repairs that we do. So we'll jump into this thing and tell you a little bit about it. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button. Ask us questions about the repair, about the unit, or about a unit that you have, whether it's this model or any other brand or model. We'll try to help you out. You can go do all that stuff down in the comments area down there, or go to our website, and you can call us, text us at the number on there. You can also write us an email, or there's a contact box on there. You can write us contact us that way. But anyways, let's jump into this one. We'll show you a little bit about it. It has two lights that are on it. It has a just a green fence OK light, or energizer OK light, and it has a red fence OK light which flashes with every pulse. This is just a power light, tells you, hey, the power is on. These green bulbs do burn out sometimes, and the unit will still click this one. If this light burns out, this light's flashing, don't worry about this one. It's just a dummy light to tell you, hey, the power's on. If this light's flashing, you know darn well the unit's working, because it's clicking and flashing this light. So what is also nice about these Gallagher units is if you've got a pretty heavy short, this light will stop flashing, and I will simulate that a little bit here in a second. I gotta find my load tester. I've got a couple load testers that I use here for dragging these units down to stress test them and everything. I've got my 500 ohm, and then I've got like 150 ohm, and the closer you get to 0 ohms across the fence and ground side, the worse of a short you get. I'm having trouble locating my heavy load, but we might not be able to do that. I can do a dead short and show you that way. But anyways, let's test this unit, and we'll see what we've got going on here. Turn this off for a second. See, that way get more metal exposed and I can grab onto it with the tester. We are getting about 8.5 kV is what this meter is showing. So about 8,500 volts coming out of it, which is plenty. Let's do a spark jump with it. I'll just take we'll take a pair of needle nose, and we're just going to hold it on its top here. I'm going to touch ground side with one and get real close to the hot side with the other. So it's not a real hard hitting unit. I mean, it's only like 3.5 to 4 stored joule units, so output joules probably, I would say, between 2 and 3. So it's not a very hard hitting unit. You know, Gallagher made smaller ones back in this day. When this one was around, they made a lot bigger ones as well. So, but let's do one more test on it. I don't have my heavy load. I've got it. I just can't find it. Got too much crap on the workbench to know where the heck I put it at. Actually, I just found it. It's on the floor under the bench. Okay, let's see what this will do. This is 150 ohm, I think. I think it's 150 ohm load. Big old 20 watt resistor. See if this... Okay, this did dog it down. The brightness of the light doesn't seem as bright. Yeah, it's a little bit dimmer. Okay, it's hard to tell, but this did drag it down pretty good. The light on here was not as bright, but let me show you with the tester so you can actually see visually how much it's loading down by. I got another tester here, or another load here I'll put on first. This is not as quite of a heavy load. This is a 500 ohm load. Yeah, 500. This is a 25 watt resistor, 500 ohm. So we're getting about 8.5. The 500 ohm we're getting about 5.5. So this would tell you this is like an example of a decent short. Nothing that's not too bad, but it's definitely dragging it down. See, we're getting 5.5 kV, so we lost about 3,000 volts. Now we'll put this heavier load on. This is, like I said, I think 150 ohm load. And see, as soon as we took the load off, it jumps right back to 8.5. So we're getting just about 3,000 volts on there now. So you can see how much this dragged it down by. And if I dead short it, you'll see how the light will go out. This tells you, hey, I've got a really bad short. See, we're not getting any light on there on the red side. As soon as you fix your problem, the red light goes back to flashing. So this light has a function to it. Not all of them just flash and just tell you, hey, it's on. So if this light goes out, you can still hear it clicking, but the light goes out while it's hooked up to the fence and ground. That means you've got a dead short somewhere, or something that's really dragging it down hard. You know, either a bunch of little shorts that are adding up to be one great big short, or you got like a small section that's just really down in the, in a bunch of grasses that's loading it down hard and heavy, or something that's dragging it down between fence and ground. But as soon as you fix your problem, plug your unit back in, this light will go right back to flashing. It doesn't take it any time at all to make that light flash. And it takes about 3,000 volts or so to make that light flash. And you saw there, we're about 3,000 volts with that heavy load, and the light was still flashing. But see, you've got a dead short, and it's still clicking, but the red light's not flashing. But as soon as you fix your problem, it goes right back to flashing. It doesn't take it any time at all to realize, hey, I can start working again on my red light because the load's not as heavy as it once was. So as long as you got over 3,000 to 3,500 volts on your fence, that is supposed to be enough to keep an animal in or out of an area. Of course, the higher voltage you have, the better. So as long as you're in that range of 3,000-4,000 volts or higher, you know, if it's like 5,000 volts and 3,000 volts, I would probably start to look at your fence to see what's causing the voltage to be down so low. But if it's over 5, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, you've got enough there to really hit the fence hard. But like you see, this one peaked out at about 8,000 volts or so. So that's, if the fence is perfectly clean and the ground is adequate, ground system is adequate enough for the unit, you should get, with no problems, that 8,000 volts, 7,000 volts at least on your fence. But you got to have a fence tester to know what you're getting. If you're looking for a good fence tester, I would look at the Gallagher voltmeter. It's called a DVM3. There's some other ones out there. What I like about the Gallagher ones is, versus a lot of the other ones, is Gallagher stuff's repairable. All the other brands like Speedrite and Zariba and Parmac and all their testers, they're not repairable. If they break down, you got to pretty much toss them and buy another one. So Gallagher testers aren't super expensive. They're about $50, which is about average on a good tester. Some brands are a little higher, some brands are a little lower, some brands are a lot lower, like $10, $20 for a tester. But you know, they give you an okay reading, I guess. But you know, if you get it left outside and gets in a bunch of water, it gets ran over, then you got to go buy another one. Or if the board inside goes bad for whatever reason, you got to buy another one. You can't get them fixed. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video, learned a little bit about this charger and some of the, you know, all the other ones that Gallagher made in this generation had this light setup or something very similar. So they'll operate the same way. Gallagher M800, B160s, they all had some kind of light that flashed on them like that, and that's your fence okay light. So they do the same thing. But anyways, till we do another video of how to fix something, how to test something, or whatever, we'll see you guys later. But remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, and ask us questions about a repair. We'll see you later.